You're welcome to this service. We believe that man was not created to be alone. We believe that we are created for connections. It's amazing that in Genesis, when Adam came, God had to call up somebody else or create the helpmate for the fulfillment of destiny. So man has always been linked with another person for the fulfillment of destiny. We started this series for this month along this line that one shall chase 1,000, two shall chase 10,000. It's called from Deuteronomy 32, verse 30. How one can chase 1,000 and two shall chase 10,000. How could one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight? Especially when God is with them. Now, if two people are together and God is not working with them, it won't work. So that's why I said, unless their rock has sold them and the Lord has surrendered them. But when God is working with them, two people will have greater fruits, greater impact. And I've seen that in my life, in this church. Beyond marriage, there are people that God brings your way, and the work multiplies. It's not that one chase 1,000 and two now chase 2,000. The results multiply when we are in harmony. The earlier business people understand that, the better. The earlier, the better. That anytime you work in harmony with people, the results actually multiply, and the devil doesn't like that. So what Satan tries to pour out on people is strife, divisions, malice. You find that even in the global space, nations, they call them allies. Have you noticed that? No matter how strong you are, you need allies, people that can work with you, because one is too small to achieve greatness. Now, when we bring it to marriage, then it's more critical. Marriage, designed by God, is the strongest place of unity. The devil hates it. When husband and wife are together and they pray about a thing, mountains move. The devil can't stand it. The devil wants to steal, to kill, to destroy. Yeah, even in the church, any church where you find divisions, fighting here and there can be progress. Any home, a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. Luke 11, I think verse 17. Luke 11, 17. But he, is that correct? Okay, thank you. He said, but he, knowing their thoughts, said to them, every kingdom is the king and the domain. A family is a domain, isn't it? Church is a domain. The nation is a domain. Any kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. And a house divided against a house, what happens to them? It falls. It's the challenge we have in our country. The insurgents and all those things is affecting the economy. When you travel out, I've been out of the country, and the next question somebody's asking me is, how are you handling Boko Haram? Because outside, the idea for some people is that it's everywhere. But they even ask me to greet their uncle in Kenya. Because they just believe that Kenya is like the next street. People have told me, I've been to conferences in the U.S. The guy, you're from Africa, Nigeria, okay, have an uncle in Kenya, help me greet him. I just say, are we greeting? Because if I start doing geography there now, I won't listen. Okay? So, but there's this outlook that they have problems, they are killing, I can't invest my money there, it's not safe. So Satan is the one that creates fights, strife. Now, the reason why we are teaching is this. Agreement doesn't just happen. If it happens like that, most people will succeed in marriage. It will be very sweet. Nations will be okay. The Hausas will understand the Igbos. The Igbos will enjoy, and there will be prosperity in the economy. Agreement does not just happen. Marriage will not just succeed. Even unity in the church does not just happen. There are times I've had to deal with things as a leader. Either correct people or encourage people, but we've got to work together. And I tried to also deal with the Lone Ranger mentality last week. That's in African culture, because the African man by nature likes to unknowingly receive a lot of accolades, though we pretend. When they ever give us accolade, we pretend like, no, it's nothing. We like it. So there is this, it's an unconscious thing. Almost all of us are guilty. There's an unconscious carrying of the entire glory. So that results in trying to do everything by yourself. So you find a man talking about his home, you hear my home, not our home. It's not mine, it's our. Even with children, you hear my children. Some ladies will say, my children. I encourage you to say our children because it's for you and your husband. In ministers' conferences, we try to teach pastors not to say my church. What would you say? Our church. Because it's not your church. It's even for Christ. But in the context of work, it's teamwork as much as we can. So unconsciously, we have that mentality of they should help me. Now, some people are so bad in it that when they are in a team, they don't listen to other people. Only their own ideas must work. The moment you don't listen to the idea or you don't, they fight you. And that's how children behave, children. When you don't, I'm trying to sing. But we need to outgrow that. I'm married, I think, 18 years? 17 years now. There's a major part she brings to the table. I have to celebrate and really appreciate it. She's better with the children's education. I'm grateful for it. Never think because you are maybe doing some other things, like maybe you provide more of the monies, you are now far better than your spouse. The day she was busy and she pushed them to me. So go and talk to Daddy. And they brought out the mathematics. JS2. I was shocked. I said, I don't know it. I don't know it. And the assignments they give children nowadays, it's not for them alone, it's for all of us. I'm even grateful that she's intelligent enough to handle it. It gives me a lot of rest. Because we have 4. Harmony takes commitment and effort. Unfortunately, some people don't like to make the effort. You will not enjoy life that way. You always have problems. Whether in your workplace or in your home or even in the church, you have problems. Where you don't make the necessary effort to work with people. If you don't value other people, you won't take the effort. You just believe you are better, you are wiser. And that leads us to the key that we started with last week, be teachable. That's one major thing that would help you help us when it comes to unity. The place of unity is a place of blessing. I was reading some books on leadership. If you know, harmony works when somebody is faithful. A faithful person working with you is better than a strong person. So Paul says, hand over these things to a faithful person that doesn't know what to do is better. They will learn how to do it. Faithfulness is better than being strong. So all these things are efforts that we must all take. But that effort will not work if you are not teachable. Make deliberate steps at improvement. The moment you believe somebody else is the one that's always wrong, you will not take any step at improving. Are we understanding each other? When I believe that you are the one that is wrong, you don't understand, you don't do this one, they don't understand you, my other doesn't understand me, I'm different, I'm unique, I'm crafted in a very unique way. When they were making me in heaven, they went to one corner, When you believe that, you'll be expecting the other person to always change. And you will never change. Yesterday, we got home, I usually try to eat at the dining table downstairs, but I was tired. So I told Pastor Bimo to tell the staff at home, let me put the food together and bring it upstairs. So I was waiting upstairs for the food. I waited. And hunger was firing me. So I just went to the staircase. Where's the food? She said, she put it downstairs. And I said, baby, why didn't you tell her to bring it upstairs? She said, I told her. As I said it, I knew I was wrong. Because it was loud and it was before the staff, So later she came upstairs. I'm sure she didn't even remember. But I apologized to her. I'm sorry for the way I said it. I should have even asked the girl straight were you not to? And she was even told, she was not, I forgot. I apologized. When I was apologizing, she was looking at me. You are not apologizing because they caught you. You are apologizing because you are wrong. Now, because one of the frustrations of many homes is the fact that one party will tell you that my spouse is not changing at all. The same thing we have been complaining about 5 years ago, 100 years ago, is almost exactly the same that is happening. It's frustrating. None of us should be like that. But we will be like that if we're unteachable. There are very little things. There are some things you don't know. When they call it feedback. Feedback. I'm looking at you now. I can see is it braids you have? Is it braids? What is this, your own? Braids? Is it braids too? Okay, longer braids with muffler. What's your own too? Everything is braids, but not the same name. Okay, now I'm seeing you. I can describe that, these ladies have braids on, right? Can I see what's on screen? Is it not foolish to be arguing with you about what's on screen? My not seeing the screen is what they call blind spot. I can't see it, but I can see this. So it's helpful when you tell me what's on screen. If I'm teachable, I will receive it. Then are you not blessing me like that? Because I now have how many eyes? 4 eyes. That's why I said 2 will multiply results. I'm using your eyes. She has done so much in terms of the student education, too many things. I try to attend PTA meetings, but my schedule is very crazy. She attends PTA meetings. She's one that rattles the teachers. When it gets to a level is when I just have to show up. 2 are better than 1 because they have a better reward for their labor. I know you've seen rewards in your labor. That reward can multiply in an explosive way when we learn to walk in unity with people that God has blessed us, especially in marriage. Okay, but what we need to put in mind is what they call a win-win situation. It's especially in marriage. You don't want to have a case whereby you are always winning, the other person is always losing. When that happens, crisis will erupt soon. You always have your way. Always have your way. At the end of the day, the other person have to apologize and beg you. Okay, you win. One day, the person losing will lose it. Even goats, they say when they pursue it too much, what happens? If a goat bites you, it's a problem. Normally, they use their horn, isn't it? Now, you push to the way it bites you. That's a problem. A story happened in Surulere some time ago. Somebody's husband died. And it's a very funny story. The husband died. The woman's life has been wrecked for many years. It's not an excuse. I'm just telling you what happened. Her life has been wrecked. The guy had bullied her. She almost not having a husband is even better. The woman will come and cry in the parlor when visitors go. Then she will go inside and kneel down. Thank you, Lord, for rescuing me. In tears, but thank you for rescuing me. Look at this. If people have to do all kinds of emotional gymnastics, packaging to reach out to you, you have a problem. And when they tell you, listen, they have to package, they can't simply communicate with you. They can't simply just, you have a challenge, especially in marriage. So let this stick, right? Am I making people overbend? I mean, there are scenarios that people have to, but you, when will you bend? Well, and there are some people, when they now bend, you will know they bent. You know what I mean? They will show you for that they just bent once or twice. You will tell them, don't bend again, I will bending. The next thing is be adaptable. You know, like snoring. How many of us snore here? Wave your hand if you snore. Don't lie. We are here together. Thank you, Jerry. God bless you. We are even waving it. It was very loud. God bless you. You know, when I got married, I didn't know about snoring. I wasn't snoring in secondary. Maybe I snored in secondary school. You just woke me up. That I should. What's the problem? When you are snoring, you hardly know. Maybe you're enjoying your sleep yourself, but you are punishing somebody else. That's how this thing is. Put your head properly. Okay, okay. Yes, yes, baby. And then you go. Another dimension. It's like a giant generator. Have you had it before? If you have not had it, come to my house, put your... So you are kind of sleeping, though it's not too healthy, but the other person cannot even sleep. So there are steps you take to ameliorate. So when you have to take that steps, you are taking it not just for yourself, but for the other person's self. So when they say, don't eat after this time. For pastors, most of the time, because of fasting at times and work, you eat late. You know that kind of thing. That's when it's worse. When you eat 9 o'clock, 10. I didn't know before. You just carry pounded yam. I've labored for the Lord this morning. God is now blessing me back. You can't stop me. And then I eat pounded yam, or, you now load around 9:30. You have killed everybody in the house. And you now go and lie down to sleep. So you have to finish eating by like 6 p.m. or 6:30. If you have to eat late, you take fruit or something, and then you find that it's lightening up. But you're not doing it just for yourself, but for the other people. Our youngest daughter, when she wants to make fun, she just come and meet me. She said, I want to sleep. I said, you. Small girl, 2 years old. I say, if not for relationship matters. If you do that with my own dad, my dad, stop it! But we are learning, isn't it? Yes. 1 Corinthians 9:19. 1 Corinthians 9:19. I learned this from Paul. It says, for though I am free from all men, that's Paul. We are all free. You know, the attitude of, I want to do my own thing, no, they should leave me alone, no. You are free from all men. You are free to be yourself. You are free, even when you get married. You have a right to just, let me do what I want to do. Nobody should stop me. That attitude. He said, for though I'm free from all men, I have what? Made myself a servant to all, that I might win them all. Marriage will not work if you are just your own thing. No relationship will work if you are like that. My own time, my own ideology, this is where I believe. No. He said, for though I'm free from all men, I have made myself a servant to all, that I might win them all. And believe me, when people win, do you know you also win? When we press others down, are you up yourself? It's not better to lift others up, even as a seed, and I God lift you up. Look at the next verse, verse 20. He said, and to the Jews, I became as a Jew. I'm talking about adaptation. Without adaptation in relationships, especially marriage, it will not work. You are from a particular home. There is a way they do things. Your parents, the way they do things. There's a way your dad, for instance, daughters especially, there's a way your dad has been to you. Maybe he hugs you and does a lot for you. Many expect their husbands to be the same thing. Your husband is not your dad. The same way for men, your wife is not your mom. So maybe you have a mom that cooks, knows how to cook, and she can cook heaven, and even she catch lizard, she can turn it into a delicacy the whole village will eat. And then you marry someone, cooking might not even be her strength. But that does not mean she doesn't have a strength or strengths. Now, if you don't understand adaptation, that you are now married, you will carry your mother's life and destroy your own marital future. Okay. By the statements you'll be making. What's all this? Come on, okra! Ha! I don't enter one chance. Come on, okra! You can't cook? What do you know how to do? You don't know how to do anything. Anything. These women of nowadays. My mom was 67 years old. She will soon stand up and cook my dad. That is your mom. Adaptation. He said to the Jews, I'm not saying ladies should not learn to cook. I don't say amen, pastor. I'm not saying you should not learn to cook. Adaptation is two sides. The man is adapting, also you are adapting. But you will adapt more based on somebody's weakness. If you have to outsource the cooking, there is nothing wrong with outsourcing what you cook if you have the cash. Telling somebody to supply, if you like a particular soup that is done in your village, and if your wife does it, it doesn't meet up to that, the village condiment, then you can outsource it to somebody and bring it in. I mean, it's wisdom. You can win argument and lose your home. And to the Jews, I became as a Jew, that I might do what? To those who are under the law, as under the law, that I might win those who are under the law. This was what empowered Joseph in Egypt. Jews have birds. Egyptians, I don't know how it is now. In those days, they hated birds. When they went to meet him in prison, one of the first things he had to do was to do what? That does not affect your relationship with God. But somebody else will say, I'm a Jew. We don't shave our beard. God shave, the king will not like it. No. The stubbornness that leads to poverty. The attitude that closes doors. If I'm asked to preach in a white garment church and I accept to go, I will wear their white garment. Does that spoil my Christianity? No. I'm not saying you adapt to evil. You get it? I've preached in an Anglican church before. I was even shocked when I got the invitation. I've never attended Anglican church in my life. They said they liked the way I preached. I should come. They're having a particular program. And it wasn't during the week. It was a Sunday morning. So I had to ask somebody, what are the processes? They say you have to bow somewhere, And I learned all those things when I got there. I was even laughing at myself. I got them. You just bow like this, and then they took communion. They took the communion. So I went to the back and took it. When I took the cup, Oshara, asthma. The alcohol content of that, I said, this one is the blood. It will shower you. I said, if a priest should take 3 of this, anointing of flow. We are taking black on. You are not blah. You say blood. I just came and sat down. But to now go there and say, no, I'm a Pentecostal. I'm free from the law. I'm a child of God. I can't bow down. If I see the Pope today, I will kiss his hand and honor him. If I meet the president today, you honor him as your president. You might not like his policies. You might be waiting for 2023 to go. But now, he's our president. Mr. President, sir. Adaptation. This has wrecked many people in life. And the pride in this, how I am. You are foolish. Some of you will be moved to a place of work. You might not like your manager. Don't go there with one spiritual pride and wreck your career future. He might even be somebody not from your faith that has all kinds. You adapt as much as you can. He might even be younger than you. You honor, you respect. Because you have 3 master's degree and the person there is from one part of the country. I don't care. You will care when they give you one letter like this or when they stop talking to you. No, because wisdom is the principal thing. And when you are in the office and you have to say something against your boss that is against his policy, you do it with courtesy, isn't it? That's adaptation. You don't talk to your upline like they are your mates. Somebody that's a senior manager and you are just about to get there can spoil everything. Oh. Now, God can deal with him later, but your own life can spoil. These are lessons we must learn. Adaptation. There was a day Apostle Paul was talking. He was given revelation. He now spoke about one of the high priests or chief priests, and they slapped him. Noah! They said, something happened. He said, that's the high priest. I said, I didn't know it was the high priest. He now also quoted the scripture. Adaptation. Women, when you marry, your husband is not your dad. Your dad might be opening the door of the car for you every time. Oh, my daughter. Oh, come down. Hug you, feed you. And you marry a man, Agbari goes straight. Backy, sweaty. It doesn't mean he's a bad person. You need to adapt while you are working things out. But to maintain one stubborn stand, you will not be happy. For those of us that are married, have you realized that when you are trying to correct your wife and you mention somebody else's name, you are in trouble. I didn't know that on time. You mention, in a bit to deal with a matter, you now either insinuate or you are so courageous, you mention if it is sister so-and-so, if it is my auntie, if it is my... That's the end of what you're trying to say. They will tell you, go and marry her. Go and marry her. That auntie Wankolo cook for you. You come in the evening with boxers. How are you, baby? How are you, baby? How are you, baby? Don't baby me. Go and meet that auntie Wankolo. Nobody likes it. The next verse. I hope we are learning. You will not disgrace Jesus in the marketplace. If the top manager is 10 years younger, except if the policy in the office is name by name, you use sir for the person. Respect the... I'm not saying eye service. Proper, courteous honor. Mature. You package yourself. If you have to even disagree, like Prophet Nathan, you package it with wisdom. Sir, I was thinking we should do it this way, for this reason, for this reason. There's a way you even carry something. The person, before you speak, he has agreed. And there's another way you behave. Whatever you say will not be taken. It's all issues of wisdom. And many of these things, they didn't teach us at home. You are now learning it in church. I pray that your future will be better than your past. I know people in our class, when I was on campus, that what affected their education was the way they responded to a lecturer. And the man won't say anything. The man that grew up in the village by Gowan regime, they went to do in France school, with 3 or 5 marks. It was scholarship that took them to France. They studied there. But before they went to France, they married a village person. So their wives are not always as beautiful as most of the students. So they are already feeling inferior. And you now, because you're from Lagos, sir, please, I won't take that from you, sir. What's the meaning of that, sir? And you walk out on the class. They've done it. I've seen it. What's that, sir? You talk to him, and you walk out of the class. You just man. Let's continue. You will walk in. One moment of indiscretion can be very costly. And one moment of right attitude can bless you forever. To those who are without law, as without law, not being without law toward God, but under law towards Christ. I'm not saying you adapt to sin. That my husband is now a drunkard. Pastor said I should adapt. He's taking 5. I'm taking 3.5. We're just adapting together. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if he has a problem with alcohol, you need wisdom to handle it. You are not the one that will change him. Not that you'll not be coming home. Everything, bottle in this house. Bottle. May the devil leave you alone. No. You will make him drink more like that. There's a way you handle that. You can't change him. But there's a way you go about it. He will even be telling you the weakness and you will help each other. But many don't know that. I will pray in church, I will pray in church. When I got him now, it's 3 bottles. You are not cast out that prayer in this family. Nonsense. He will stop drinking it at home. He will go and be taking it. And then when he comes, he'll show you the manifestation. Wisdom. Next verse, please. 22. To the weak I became what? That I might win. So even if your spouse has certain deficiencies, you can still win. I have become what? All things to all men, that I might by all means save some. 23. Now this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be partaker of it with you. So for the sake of peace and progress, you need to learn to adapt. There's this the picture of the dinosaur. If you can help me put it on screen. The dinosaur. Dinosaurs have been on for whatever number of years. We have thousands of years, hundreds of years. Now, research shows, which I'm sure you understand, that the reason why these things or these animals are not existing anymore is because of lack of adaptation. A lot of things were changing in the environment, the plants, the chemicals, the climate. Many of them could not adapt and they fossilized. They are extinct now. The reason most things go down is lack of adaptation. It's going this way, and somebody saying, no, this way we have been doing it in our church. We must remain, but we want to change. The reasons of marriages going, you hear things like irreconcilable. You say we cannot adapt. You can't find them anymore because somewhere along the line, their digestive system could not handle the plants anymore. The climate, whether it's getting hotter or cooler, they could not adapt anymore. And then they started dying. They couldn't produce. So the law of adaptation is not only just for relationship matter, in business, in career. Please, I'm not saying you adapt to doing evil or promoting immorality. I'm not saying that. Adaptation comes by the wisdom of God, knowing when to bend as long as it does not really affect, your core policies. Let me show you this story. We've read it severally. It's so long. Genesis 24, verse 14. Genesis 24, verse 14. It's the story of Rebekah. When she, verse 14, let's run through it. Genesis 24, verse 14. This Abraham servant was looking for a wife for Isaac. And, he said, now let it be that the young woman to whom I say, that's the servant praying, please let down your pitcher that I may drink. And she says, what? Drink, and I will also give your camels drink. Let her be the one you have appointed for your servant Isaac. And by this I will know that you have shown kindness to my master. Verse 15. And it happened, before he had finished speaking, that behold, Rebekah, who was born of Bethuel, son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, came out with a pitcher on what? Praise the Lord. Now, when this woman came, did she have an agenda on her mind? No. What I mean agenda? She had something she came to do. Right? She didn't just that I'm just strolling. I don't have any work to do. One of the outworkings of adaptation is your schedule. It's a major part. You would have thought, I want to do this, especially in marriage. Your husband is hungry. You had planned to make your hair, And then he says, I'm very hungry. Oh. And then you are saying, bad timing there. What's bad timing? I want to go and make my hair. So he will have to. You are foolish. They are not here. It's foolishness. And sometimes it happens at work. Your boss. Oh, I know you have a plan. And they call you. Except that plan is maybe life and death or something. You adapt. Some staff don't know that. Some people don't know that. And they feel they are being prioritizing. Your guy is your priority. The man that will sign appraiser. And you are telling him, sir, I plan to go there. Can I do it next week? If it's to be done next week, was he foolish for asking now? And sometimes there are tests. So she came out. Look at verse 16. This thing I'm teaching you, you will pay money. Mike Murdoch in the U.S. He had a land. The land was valued at $425,000. The land. And he wanted to give it to a church. But the Holy Spirit said he should test the church, the pastor. So he called the pastor. A pastor was looking for land, he called him and mentioned, he didn't tell him he wanted to give it. He didn't tell him at all. He just asked that, okay, can they buy it or lease it? So they agreed on the very good terms. He now appealed to him that while they are working on it, can they stay like extra 2 months? Because just like to help them stay. If you see how this person behaved, she was just looking at him. You've not even paid though. The money they want to give you is very low. You don't even know it's for free. They brought it down. They are like doing you generational favor. They now ask you that, please, can you just allow us stay for 1 or 2 months before we, no. Here. And he walked away from 425,000 blessing. There are tests that we face in life. Little tests. She was facing a test she didn't know. They might send you to go and fetch water today, but tomorrow they might send you to go and head a whole division. Learning to know when to adapt. In fact, the guy told him, if you're going to stay for 2 months, you have to pay this amount. He was not slamming figures. Hey, I'm doing you a favor. Already what is 425, I brought it down. You should even say I should stay for 1 year before I get it. But you are behaving as callous as truly as you are. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not everything you ask for money for. You have to pay. May God give you the discretion when that kind of moment comes. We're all quiet. Why are we quiet? Now, the young woman was very beautiful to behold, so beauty is not enough. Designer is not enough. Character and attitude is more important. A virgin, no man had known her, and she went down to the well, filled her pitcher, and came up, 17. And the servant ran to meet her and said, please, let me drink a little water from your pitcher. It's either you say, no, I don't have time, I want to just fetch water and go home. Fine, just go home, but you have the husband. Just attitude. So there are moments where you have to adapt to schedules, change things and adapt. May God give you that wisdom when it comes in the name of Jesus Christ. So look at the next verse, 18. And she said, drink, my Lord. That's courtesy. Then she quickly, somebody say quickly. Not, see. Please, both of you should come. In compensation, in the school of blessing, even in HR, 2 people might be solving the same problem. But somebody else will be paid more, either in cash or other opportunities, based on the way they solve it. Do you understand me? The way, the attitude. You can do something and let me just do it for them. You are doing it. But the attitude will show. You can't hide your attitude, though. It smells out. In case you don't know, no matter how you package or pretend or cover the smoke, it will. I'm telling you, it will show that this person is just doing it. If not, he doesn't want to do it. Or she doesn't want to do it. It shows. The way. So you can go and Help him. But you know you can carry the bucket. All these men that just came from all this country now. If I don't carry her now, they'll say I know they have visitor. You know you can do that. And you go ahead and fetch it. He will say thank you to you. But that's not it. That's not serving. In fact, leaders will tell you, I'd rather you don't do it. Go and sleep. Than do it with that attitude. If a wife cooks for you with murmuring, I have to go and do my hair now, you're just troubling me every time. I should be hungry at this time. She's cooking. Will you like it as a husband? No, you are cooking it. Because we should not reduce this thing to, I did it. I was there. What else do they want? No, they want you. Attitude. So she quickly let her picture. So doing things with joy, doing things willingly, doing things with the right attitude is what procures blessings. Am I making sense to you? Thank you. This is how people are trained. I don't know where you will be in this world, but believe me, this works globally. That's why emotional intelligence became a profession that they give to managers targets. Before, they give targets. So everybody is pursuing the target. So at the end of the year, the man has gotten the target. But as he's getting the target, he has killed all the other stuff. You know what I mean? Bullied them, abused them. Some of them have left. But he reached the target, but he has destroyed lives. But somebody else has reached the target, but people have been built. Are you emotionally intelligent enough? But it's all in scriptures. So she quickly, I know I might be hitting some people below the belt, some ladies that maybe they didn't teach you at home. Or some men, you are just so saucy and spoiled by your mom. But you got to grow. If you're in this church, you got to grow. You have to throw away childish things. If your wife even cooks for you, you say thank you. Abby? Yes. Ladies, is it not okay to say thank you? Don't say, what else? That's what we should do. Nonsense. Don't do that. Say thank you. You know why she said thank you? What if she poisons your food? And she sits with you and laughing, have a year is the food. Have you seen movies where they want somebody to have trouble for a whole day? They put something in the food, not to kill the person, but toilet will kill you that day. Have you seen movies like that? They just put some things in the water or something and then it's this. Next thing is toilet. The whole day, you won't go anywhere today. Don't poison your husband in Jesus' name. Drink, my Lord. Then she quickly let her pitcher down to her hand and gave him a drink. Next verse. 19. And when she had finished, somebody say finished, giving him a drink, she said, I will draw water for your camels also. She is tampering with her own schedule. There will be moments in your life where you put your own thing as number 2, number 7. It will happen, but it will be a destiny time. But if you have not been used to it, when the destiny one comes, you also miss it. Life is so funny. We don't have the details. This is the first lady he spoke to. But do you know it's possible that some other ladies in that scenario that he would have spoken to, and they would just, no, I'm sorry, I'm very busy. And they will go. And there's no fight, but just go. I will give them until they are finished drinking. Next verse, 20. Then she quickly, I'm amazed at the quickly. The servant's heart. Then she quickly emptied her pitcher into the trough, ran back to the well to draw water, and drew for all his camels. 21. And the man, wondering at her, remained silent, so as to know whether the Lord had made his journey prosperous or not. 22. So it was that when the camels had finished drinking, that the man did what? Took a golden nose ring, weighing half a shekel, and 2 bracelets for her wrist, weighing 10 shekels of gold. 23. And said, whose daughter are you? May they ask you that question. Whose son are you? Which church do you attend? Who trained you? Which school did you go to? Whose daughter are you? Tell me, please. Is there room in your father's house for us to lodge? This woman ended up marrying Isaac. Isaac, the child of promise. There is something about courtesy. There is something about servanthood. There is something about adaptation that helps you walk in your destiny. It's going to come. In business, it's going to come. They will call you at a particular time when it's not convenient. Just do it. But how you do it matters. Rebecca adapted to the schedule of the stranger, and then the rest is history. Finally, this morning, am I making some good sense? Our children will see us do it, and they will pick up all those things from there. It will separate us from the masses, from the crowd. It will distinguish us in life. Finally, be joyful. Be joyful. I don't know, for those of us that are married, have you noticed that when somebody in the marriage is always frowning and fighting, is there harmony? Talk now. Always complaining. Today, always reacting. Is it okay? Now, things come up that you might not be happy with, right? But there's a way you have an environment at home where it's joyful. Now, the one that is painful is when me come home as a husband and I am not joyful with my spouse, but they see me with other people always joyful. That's a problem. Now, the problem is on two sides. The man himself might not have been able to adapt well at home, or the woman too is doing certain things that is pushing the adapter away. When your husband comes home and talks about something very simple, don't bring, we've not bought tomato. Some ladies are that naive. Let me be polite. This man just wants to be free. And this will see what happened at the bus stop. And then the next, what happened? We have to buy beans now. Or you're complaining about something. That's what they call nagging. You just bring out issues that does not correlate, and there a time to present it. Joyful house. Don't make your home a graveyard, and anybody can be the reason, either the man or the woman. Graveyard home. Silent, no joy, no celebration, nothing. But it will start when the person is a friend to people. There's some people, when we are growing up, my dad, when he comes home, we run away. I don't know what happened to you. But our parents didn't know better. When daddy shows up like this, the parlor go, wham! You don't get to the room and carry book like this. Upside down. Yemi! Yes, daddy. You now come like you are a gentleman. Like you've not been doing anything since morning. What did happen in school? But they didn't know better. There was no relationship. No more joy. Especially when daddy and mommy are always fighting. What can you do today to be more joyful? Can you push some things aside? Can you forgive that person? Can you introduce some celebrations at home? Can you make your home a heaven where God himself wants to come? Oh, I know Nigeria has many problems, but you're not the only Nigeria now. If there is no electricity, find a way to celebrate at home. If you allow all these Nigerian weaknesses to enter you, you will spoil your future. You won't be happy. You are not happy when there's light. When there's light, you are anxious. They shouldn't take it. They shouldn't take it. They shouldn't take it. You are anxious. After 10 minutes, they take it. You see now, Nigeria. You know? And then when there is no light, I don't know what's wrong with this country. You'll be up and down. What is it? She still tries to climb my back at home, but I beg her a lot in terms of jumping on me. Because when I married her, I could carry you. But now, it's a ministry to do that now. Well, anybody can carry, but now she just carry me. The daughters are saying I should carry them. Carry them. You can't. This bag needs to preach the gospel, you know. She tries to climb. She still tried it. Was it yesterday? So I carried, but not fully. And one of the leg was on the floor. I said, okay. I said, have I tried? How many of you men here can your wife still approach you? To say, Egbe mi sẹ́yìn. Can the idea even ever cross her mind? Or when she talk to you, there's a distance. There's no food in the house. Thank you, Jesus. Are we good this afternoon? So when you get to office tomorrow, if you're working in a place, greet your boss well. Not pretending. Greet him respectfully. Good morning, sir. Good to see you, sir, this morning. Let him stand and say, hey, what happened? What happened? If you have been like that, great. But if you're not being like, let him go and pray in the room. Father, I don't know what is happening this week. The way this one is greeting me now, it's like, respect. When he corrects you for the first time this week, reply with, thank you, sir. I never saw it like that. Because before you correct, you just walk out. Or you'll be explaining from morning till night. Accept correction, you'll be explaining from morning till night why you did it. Why? Accept. The one that is not there, remove it, but accept. And then appreciate the correction. So that the day they need to tell you something that will rescue you from death, they will be bold to say it. Oh God of heaven, direct our noble cause.
Greatness is a function of wisdom. The wiser we are, the better we live. Join us every Sunday at Global Impact Church at The Good Land, Ifako Bus Stop, Oworonshoki Ogbudu Expressway, Lagos, Nigeria. Host Yemi and Bimbo Davids. For inquiries, visit www.globalimpactng.org. Global Impact Church. Think greatness.